Hi, welcome back to my Real Man Talk. I thought of bringing a topic for you, which is called Seven Habits. Right now, Seven Habits made me extremely disciplined. So, this is for you. You know, this with this you can learn a lot as to where you can plan your life or your professional journey. අපි ළඟදී පවත්වපු වැඩමුළුවකට මේක ප්‍රසන්ට් කරනකොට එක මහත්මයෙක් මගෙන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇහුවා. මම දැන් මගේ ජීවිතේ ගොඩක් ගෙවල ඉවරයි. මගේ පෞල් ජීවිතෙත් යන්නේ එහෙමයි. මේක මට වැදගත්ද? දැන් එහෙම අහනවා නම් ඔබතුමන්ලා මේ වීඩියෝ එක නරඹන්න එපා. මොකද මේකේ ඔබට නෙමෙයි. මේක මම ගේන්නේ මම වගේම තමන්ගේම ව්‍යාපාරයක් කරගෙන මේ තැනට ආපු අයට. ඒ වගේම මම අවුරුදු 30ක් කෝපරේට් සෙක්ටර් එකේ වැඩ කරා. ඒ අත්දැකීමෙන් මම මගේම ව්‍යාපාරයක් කරනවා. ඒතර මේක ඒ අයට. සහ තමුන්ගේ මැනේජරියල් ලයිෆ් එකේ එක්තරා දුරක් ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නවා. ඒක ඉදිරියට ගෙනියන්න අවශ්‍ය කරන ටූල් එකක් ඕන අයට තමයි මේක තියෙන්නේ. Those who want a professional tool to rescale their path. So let's go. Let's go and see what we have in store. Right? If we put this on screen, we put this on full screen so that you can see it properly. Okay, 7 habits for you to be success. Right. So before I go to 7 habits, we all have stress. We think we have stress, but I don't believe in stress because there's no word. There is a word, but there's nothing called stress. Is that we create it. So how are we creating it? කොහොමද අපි මේක create කරන්නේ? Underload. අපිට කිසිම දෙයක් නැතුව තියෙනකොට අපි too little stress පොඩ්ඩයි තියෙන්නේ. Right? And it's kind of a laid back approach we take. Pumped. When things comes for us to perform, we get pumped up. That's called optimum level of stress. And then when you keep on doing it, over a period of time, you get exhausted. Too much stress or overload. Then comes the burnout level, anxiety, panic, anger, right? And you break down. So this is kind of stress. All this happens for a reason. So let's see what is that reason is all about, right? So let's get to a point where Maslow's hierarchy of need. When we start our life, can be professional life, it can be personal life, it can be educational life. There are physiological needs. What are those physiological needs? Air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, the basic needs. When you satisfy basic needs, the next need gets important. That is safety needs, personal security, employment, resources, health, property. Right? When you have that, imagine if you start as a sales rep. The first thing is that within 6 months you want to get that job permanent, right? If you don't get it permanent, then you get the safety need on. Then you work very hard to get it within 9 months for you to be permanent. Once you get permanent, time of relief, then you move into groups, right? Then you move into groups, love and belonging, friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connection. When a team accepts you, love and belonging happens, it moves to the next level. Esteem needs, you need respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, freedom, right? So sales rep elevated to a senior sales rep, elevated to assistant manager, this goes up. Then you come to self-actualization. Once esteem need is fulfilled, the next need gets important. Desire to become the most that one can be at his best. Self-actualization, right? So when you elevate from a sales rep to a manager position, it doesn't stop, right? It doesn't stop. You crave to take the next position. So again, it comes to physiological needs, right? So it goes on. It goes on with your energy and it moves on. If you start up a business, you might be selling your goods on the road today. Tomorrow, you might want to go into a shop and sell your goods. The next day, you want to become a huge enterprise. So it doesn't stop, guys. It moves. So there's something coming from it, falling up. මේක තමයි අපිට අවශ්‍ය කරන්නේ. මේක ඔබට කළ හැකි. You can do this. It's falling up. So what is falling up? Let's see what is that thing that's falling up, right? Psychology behind habit formation. We are not born with habits. Habits free up time and energy. This is why you have great ideas while you are taking a shower or walking. Your actions are automatic, so your mind is free to think about something else, right? So psychology behind habits. So habits are not we are not born with habits. Habits versus routine. Your beliefs becomes your thoughts. Your thoughts becomes your words. Your words becomes your action. Your your actions become your habits. Your habits become your values. Your values becomes your destiny. Mahatma Gandhi, right? So coming to habits, right? So where the habits coming from? Your actions becomes your habit. මේ ක්‍රියාව තමයි habit එකක් බවට පත් වෙන්නේ, right? එතකොට අපි බැලුවොත් theory of planned behavior. So you have attitudes, you have subjective norms, perceived behavioral control that triggers into intention and it goes to behavior, right? It creates a behavior. Okay. So your behavior can adjust from your attitude, right? From your attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control. These three goes into your intention, and intention in turn trigger behavior. So this is what it's all about, right? So let me take you through quickly to the other slide, right? Um, the three R's of habit formation. Right? What is this three R of habit formation? Right. First, you have a reminder. The cue or trigger that starts the habit turns into a routine, right? Then routine goes into a reward, right? So reminder, it goes into a routine goes into a reward. So reminder, the cue or trigger that starts the habit. There's habit starts, action you take, routine, the habit itself. Then the benefit you gain from doing the habit. So my question to you is, how often you have reward yourself? Like once you achieve a target, okay, I'm going to reward the bracelet for me. Once you achieve a target, okay, I'm going to do this for you. How often you have done it, right? How often you're talking to yourself. So then here's the man, Stephen Covey, the seven habits of highly effective people. Be proactive, begin with the end in mind, put first things first, think win-win, seek first to understand and then to be understood, synergize and sharpen the saw. So let's go deep and see what Mr. Covey is talking about, right? What habits do highly effective people have? The book opens with an explanation of how many individuals who have achieved high degree of outward success still find themselves struggling with an inner need for developing personal effectiveness and growing healthy relationship with other people. This is normal, right? How many individuals who have achieved high degree of outward success still find themselves struggling with an inner need. ඇතුලාන්තයෙන් struggle කරනවා කොච්චර එළියෙන් success එක තිබ්බත් ඇතුලාන්තයෙන් තමන්ව හදාගන්න බැරුව. How effective you are inner. An inner need for developing personal effectiveness and growing healthy relationships with other people, right? Covey believes the way we see the world is entirely based on our perceptions. මේක හරි වැදගත් දෙයක්. අපි The world is entirely based on our perception, which is true, right? Which is absolutely true, right? In order to change a given situation, we must change ourselves. අපිට බෑ එළියේ තියෙන දේවල් හදන්න. අපිට පුළුවන් අපිව හදාගන්න. right? එක එක අරමුණු පස්සේ දුවලා දේවල් කරගෙන වැඩක් නැහැ. අපි අපිව හදාගන්න ඕන. අපේ ආර්ථිකය ගොඩනගා ගන්න ඕනේ රටේ ආර්ථිකය හදන්න කලින්. දේශපාලඥයෝ ඒවා ටික කරගන්න. But what have we done to boost the economy? රටේ විපක්ෂයක් තියෙනවා. There is opposition in this country. There is opposition in this parliament. In our parliament, they oppose. Why can't they propose? When they're given the chance to do it, why they fail? So, in order to change a given situation, we must change ourselves. And in order to change ourselves, we must be able to change our perception. අපි හිතන විදිය වෙනස් කරගන්න. මේක තමයි මේ system change කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒතර මේක කරන්න බැරි නම්, right? Then you are a failure. In earlier times, the foundation of success rested upon character ethics, things like integrity, humility, fidelity, temperance, courage, justice, patience, like that. But starting around the 1920s, the way people viewed success shifted to what Covey calls personality ethics, where success is a function of personality, public image, attitude, and behavior. Where success is function of a personality, public image, attitude, and behavior. So let's dig deep and see what he has in store for us. So this is what I was explaining. Pre-1920s, it's character ethics like integrity, humility, courage. But after 1920s, it turns to personality ethics. Public image, attitude, and personality. එකට මාරු වෙනවා 1920 පස්සේ. එතකොට අපි බලන්නනේ අපි කොහොමද කන්ඩක්ට් වෙන්නේ කියලා. දැන් මේක තුල එක එක ප්‍රශ්න ඇති වෙන්න පුළුවන්, but let's see how it happens, right? These days, people look for quick fixes. They see a successful person, team, organization, and ask, how do you do it? Teach me your technique. But these shortcuts that we look for, hoping to save time and effort and still achieve the desired results, are simply band-aid or plaster that will yield short-term solutions. They don't address the underlying condition, right? The underlying condition එක තමයි the way we see the problem is the problem. අපි ප්‍රශ්නේ දකින විදිය තමයි ප්‍රශ්නේ. Right? Covey, right? We must allow ourselves to undergo paradigm shifts to change ourselves fundamentally and not just alter our attitudes and behavior on the surface level in order to achieve the true change. That's where 7 habits of highly effective people come in. Right? So habit 1, 2, and 3 are focused on self-mastery and moving from dependence to independence. Habit 4, 5, 6 are focused on developing teamwork, collaboration, and communication skills and moving from independence to interdependence. Habit 7 is focused on continuous growth and improvement and embodies all the other habits. So remember this slide. What is 1, 2, 3 is 4. What is 4, 5, 6, and what is 7. So let's go one by one. Habit 1, be proactive. So I'm taking you through in the fast pace. We are in charge. We choose the script by which to live our lives. Use this self-awareness to be proactive and take responsibility for your choice. Right? The first habit that Covey discusses is being proactive. Reactive when defined. What distinguishes us as humans from all other animals is our inherent ability to examine our own character, to decide how to view ourselves and our situations, and to control our own effectiveness. So that is number 1, right? Proactive, be proactive, right? Number 2, begin with the end in mind. Start everything knowing where it is heading. ඒක නැතුව කරන්න බෑ. අද පේන්නේ නැත්නම් මේ දෙයක් පටන් ගන්න තේරුමක් නෑ. Start with a clear destination in mind. Covey says, We can use our imagination to develop a vision of what we want to become and use our conscious to decide what values will guide us. Most of us find it rather easy to busy ourselves. We work hard to achieve victories, promotions, high income, more recognition, but we don't often stop to evaluate the meaning behind this busyness, behind these victories. I have done that. I know how the victories came. We don't ask ourselves if these things that we focus on so intently are what really matters to us. Guys, begin with a end in mind. So that's number two, right? You might be spouse centered. If you feel security, if you're feeling security are based on your on the way your spouse treats you, you might be family centered. So read this slide very carefully, right? You might be family centered. If you think security is is founded on family acceptance and fulfilling family expectations, your actions are limited by family models and traditions. If you're money centered, your personal worth is determined by your net worth. Profit is your decision making criteria. So likewise, works, if you're work centered, there goes the solution. Position centered, there goes the solution. Pleasure centered, well, take a photograph of this slide and see where you are. Pleasure centered, friend centered, enemy centered. If you're focusing, if you think you make your decision based on what will thought your enemy, you are defensive, overreactive, and often paranoid. Church centered, you're very spiritual bound. Your security is based on church activity and the esteem in which you are held by those in authority or influence in the church. You find identity and security in religious label and comparison. Or you might be self centered. So read this slide properly. Right, I'll keep it about 2-3 seconds. Right. Third one, put first things first. In order to manage ourselves effectively, we must put first things first. We must have the discipline to prioritize our day-to-day actions based on what is most important, not what is most urgent. මේක ස්ටඩි කරන ළමයෙකුට උනත් මේ 7 habits පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද ගොඩාක් අය මේ කෝප් කරගන්න බැරි ඉෂුව එකක් වෙනවා. So show them this, right? Show them. Put first things first, right? So what is number 4? Think win-win. In order to establish effective interdependent relationships, we must commit to creating win-win situations that are mutually beneficial and satisfying to each party. This win-win has categories, right? Covey explains that there are 6 paradigms of human interaction. So let's see. First one, win-win. Both people win. Agreement or solution are mutually beneficial and satisfying of both parts, to both parties. Then there's another one called win-lose. If I win, you lose. Win-lose people are prone to use position, power, credentials, and personality to get their way. Lose-win. I lose, you win. Right? Lose-win people are quick to please and appease and seek strength from popularity or acceptance. Number 4, lose-lose. Both people lose. When two win-lose people get together, that is when two determined, stubborn, ego-invest individuals interact. The result will be lose-lose. Then not a more. Win only. People with win mentality don't necessarily want someone else to lose their irrelevance. What matters is that they get what they want. Number 6, win-win or no deal. If you can't reach an agreement that is mutually beneficial, there's no deal. So there are 6 paradigms of win-win situation you need to study. You need to be aware, right? The fifth one, right? The fifth one, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Before we can offer advice, suggestions, solutions, or effectively interact with another person in any way, we must seek to deeply understand them and their perspective through empathetic listening. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Right. Sixth one, synergize. By understanding and valuing the difference in other person's perspective, we have the opportunity to create synergy, which allows us to uncover new possibilities through openness and creativity. Right. So what is number 7? Finally, sharpen the saw. To be effective, we must devote the time to renewing ourselves physically, spiritually, mentally, and socially. Continuous renewal allow us to synergistically increase our ability to practice each habit. Habit 7 is focused around renewal or taking time to sharpen the saw. It surrounds all the other habits and makes each one possibly by, by preserving and enhancing your greatest assets, that is yourself. So, how to sharpen the saw? Physical dimension. The goal of continuous physical improvement is to exercise your body in a way that will enhance our capacity to work, adapt, and enjoy. To renew ourselves physically, we must eat well, get sufficient rest and relaxation, exercise on a regular basis to build endurance, flexibility, and strength. Focusing on the physical dimensions helps develop habit 1, muscles of proactivity. If you are physically not fit, guys, you can't take decisions. So your physical appearance and dimension is key. I'm not saying that you have to have six pack. Well, it's good, but yeah, the lean figure, your fit figure, right? Your mental agileness will come through endurance, flexibility, and strength, which you need to have, right? Spiritual dimension. Now, this is not saying prayers. The goal of renewing our spiritual self is to provide leadership to our life and reinforce your commitment to our value system. I can quote many examples of individuals, right? To renew yourself spiritually, you can practice daily meditation, communicate with nature, immerse yourself in great literature or music. Your mental dimension. The goal of renewing our mental health is to continue expanding our mind. To renew yourself mentally, you can read good literature, keep a journal of your thoughts, experiences, and insights. Limit television watching to only those programs that enrich your life and mind. Don't watch news. Don't watch negative news. Read positive stuff. Look at positive videos, right? That will trigger, that will give you high mental alignment. Social emotional dimension. The goal of renewing ourselves socially is to develop meaningful relationships. To renew yourself emotionally, you can seek to deeply understand other people, make contribution to meaningful projects that improve the lives of others, maintain an abundance mentality, and seek to help others to find success. Right, guys? So this is very clear. As we focus on renewing ourselves along these four dimensions, we must also seek to be positive scripter for other people. Be careful when you do this. We must look to inspire others to a higher path by showing them we believe in them, by listening to them empathetically, by encouraging them to be proactive. Right? So, guys, that is 7 habits of Stephen Covey. I mean, you need to practice that. So let me stop sharing the slide now. Yeah, you need to practice. It's a beautiful thing, and you must read the book. Keep it.